Is it possible Democrats are heading toward a humiliating upset, just like in 2016, when the polls told us some very different stories? Joining me now, former speechwriter for George W. Bush and Wall Street Journal columnist Bill McGurn is back so we can learn with McGurn. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So the polling was all over the place in 2016.
Right.
Every metric, every poll, every pundit, every person said that Hillary Clinton was going to win, in large part because people who were supporting President Trump wouldn't pick up the phone to answer pollsters. Is the same thing happening now, or is that just a Republican fantasy?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Look, I think in the Senate we'll probably pick up at least 2 seats. The demographics always favored the Senate. You had a lot of Democrats running in Trump states. So I think we're back to where it started out. And I think Republicans are starting to pull away.
Republicans thought they were going to lose in 2014. They thought they were going to lose the Senate.
Right. Dean Heller, I think, was the most vulnerable Republican in the Senate in a state that Hillary won. And even he seems to be pulling away in the election polls.
It's interesting because it's how critical is this 2-week period, and how much does messaging and intensity change, if it can get any more intense? And I don't know that it can. Maybe it can. But how does this window change and accelerate?
Well, I think a lot more depends on less Republicans and Democrats. Obviously, they have to get their people out, but how independents break and what messaging appeals to them. And I think the key for either party is to appeal to independents in a way that doesn't turn off their base, right? In a way that can appeal to both. Because I think they're going to be the margin in a lot of these places. But I think it looks good at the state. That's
tough because so many of these issues are black or white issues.
Right.
You know, when you look at Justice Kavanaugh, when you look at immigration and the caravan specifically, when you look at the economy, it seems like you have a little bit more wiggle room. So if that's the case, and you are looking for that sweet spot, what is the key for Republicans to maintain? Excuse me, I get so choked up. It's very emotional.
Well, I think it may vary in different states, but I think the caravan helps the Republicans. You know, people. I'm pro-immigration. I would like to see a more generous immigration.
I agree, more not less.
Right, but
it's all over the map. I mean, okay, and I would like to see how you feel about this, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more later in the show from 2 different perspectives. What do you think about the fact that the president has made some shifts rhetorically on immigration, and there is more confusion, and that has led to more illegal immigration?
It could. Look, I just think that what people see now, I think a few months ago people saw families being broken up and Republicans sort of indifferent to the dreamers, people brought here not on their own when they were kids. Now I think people see a caravan trying to bum rush the border, people plumping for sanctuary cities and abolishing ICE. I think that's a message that I think would resonate with some independents.
It does,
because the American people. Primarily, it's not immigration; it's lawlessness. It's the law. I think people want our country to be generous and open, but they want the law to be followed.
Well, it's interesting because both sides think they have an edge here.
Right.
And a lot of it will depend on the president's reaction, whether or not he does militarize the southern border. I mean, that's going to be an entirely different optic, and I think that could hurt him with independents. How does the president play it best if he is trying to reach that group of people who...
I think he has to be firm. I think he is. I actually think it plays to his strengths in the sense that if the issue is the law, I just think there's little sympathy for people deciding we're just going to come across the border no matter what in a caravan.
It strains sympathy for even the most pro-immigration, liberty-minded.
Yeah, and the sanctuary cities. I think people want the law.
Yes.
People want a lawful means. It's a pity we didn't reach an agreement on the Dreamers, which I think was doable. I hope that maybe next term we might be able to do that, but it doesn't look good.
Bill McGurn, there it is. I learned with McGurn as always. Thank you so much. Very good to see you.